The world right now needs entrepreneurs, we need innovators, we need startups to succeed, like now more than ever. And a strong personal and professional brand is critical for success no matter where you are in your brand journey. Our goal and our hope for you guys today is that you're going to come out of this session learning strategies to authentically tell your story, build your visual identity, and turn fans into loyal customers. Hello, I am Maria Hileman. I am the creative director at Media Bridge Advertising, which is located here in Minneapolis. I am a huge fan of Twin Cities Startup Week. I've been fortunate enough to attend the last 2 years. So it's really exciting to be here right now presenting to all of you virtually. It's estimated that there's only 11% of creative directors are women. So to be here is a true honor on this all-female panel. And we really just can't wait to kick this off and support our Twin Cities community. At Media Bridge, we use design to activate brands. Are you here today because you're a startup? Are you here today because maybe your brand's just not really on point and you're kind of looking for some tips and tricks? Well, you're in luck because I'm here to tell you guys that there is absolute power in branding. People are willing to pay more for a branded product than something which is largely unbranded. Good branding helps you stand out from your competitors. It helps you speak to your company's values, and it really engages with your customers. The world, especially right now, is a frantic and it's a busy place. So most consumers are really only going to engage with a strong visual brand. Without a unified identity, everything from your content to your core business can really suffer. Your brand is what you stand for, and it's one of the reasons why people are going to choose you over the competitor. It is extremely important to cultivate a consistent and an authentic brand. Authentic brands, they understand themselves at the deepest level, and customers are more likely to trust and recommend an authentic brand. So let's dive in and make sure you understand your brand and who it is you are targeting. Well, you got to start with the why. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. People want to do business with a business that they actually believe in. So if you don't know your why, how are people going to be loyal to your brand? Okay, so here's our first exercise. We need to get clear on the why. So take time right now, think about your business, think about a company that you work for, really understand what is the why? Like, why are you in business? Why are you getting out of bed every morning and doing what it is you do? And why should people care about that? So just take time and kind of think about that. Like, get clear on your own personal why. What's really helpful is when you define your why, it helps give you purpose. It helps establish your unique selling proposition. And from that, you can really form your own mission. For example, Uber's why is because it sucks to be stranded without easy access to reliable transportation. So from that why, they were able to start their mission. And Uber's mission is transportation as reliable as running water everywhere for everyone. Goldilocks' why is because girls are discouraged from building things, and we need to change that. So from there, their mission was to correct the gender imbalance in engineering. Another important step in brand strategy and messaging is really defining your core values. These are going to be the principles that guide your behavior. They are what you, your business, and your brand stand for. So think about your core values. 89% of shoppers stay loyal to brands that share their values. So it's really important, guys, to really figure out what are your core values. At Media Bridge, our core values are actually something we care so much about. We make sure to put them in all of our social. We make sure to hire based off our core values, and we also got them printed on t-shirts for our employees to wear. Core values is something that's so important because it really gets everyone on the same page about what it is you and your brand stand for. So So far, your homework is two things. It's figuring out your why. Why are you in business? Why are you doing it? And really defining your core values. All right, so now it's time to transition into design. You guys have about 10 seconds for the audience to form an opinion about your logo. That's it, 10 seconds. So really don't screw it up with a bad first impression. I can't stress this enough. It's really important to create this visual brand. Logos are the face of a business, and your uniqueness is really what's going to separate you from your competitors. You need to create a visual brand that stands out from the rest. Look where we were able to take Minneapolis's premier plumbing and HVAC company, Dean's. We were able to give them this bold and distinct look that absolutely commands attention on the road. Our brains process images 60,000 times faster than we process words. Because of this reason, we don't just give a word mark over when we do rebrands for companies. We want to give an entire visual system. For example, for the Dean's rebrand that you see in front of you, we designed the word mark to be used on the service vans and the billboards. We designed a very simple icon that still absolutely breaks it down into the three categories that Dean's Home Services will do. But it works so well in such a limited space, like for all the social media channels onto the profile. On the bottom left, you'll see we did a badge for Dean's. This is something that is on the homepage of their website because it's nicely encased in the header bar. And then we took a very outdated photo of the founder, Dean himself, and made it into more of a modern caricature. And you'll see those on billboards, and we've used them on the back of the trucks too. So as you can see, the visual package is needed because each element is designed specifically for the marketing medium that we are housing it on. A super common misstep around branding is forgetting who you're doing it all for. Because guys, your branding's not for you. It's really intended for your target market. So who's your target? Who are you trying to target right now if you're a startup? Who are you trying to target right now if you're a marketer? Like, you really need to get clear on who that target audience is. What do they want to see from you, and how do they want it to be received to them? Our client, Nick, started an app called Ugarte. This is a very cool app. It was really meant to express a place for people to express emotion and spread motivation to one another into like a community. And they do this via chat and posts and journaling. And when she came to us, her brand was all over the place. A lot of the things that you're seeing on the screen right now meant something very personal to Nick, but it did not translate well to be seen on this teeny little app that you get served on your phone. And we really wanted to make it like, we wanted conversions. We wanted to make sure people wanted to interact with this Ugarte app because it does so many amazing things for the community at large. So to give you some context, Nick is a full-time working mom. She had this amazing idea to create this safe space for journaling. And her why for starting Ugarte was because she experienced trauma herself and realized she didn't really have a place or a community where she could go express her feelings. So, here's this full-time working mom who decided to just come up with this Ugarte app. And this app is like really meant to get people out of their darkness and not feel so alone. So the safe space that Nick was able to create with this app, it's already saved lives, and there's no better why than that. So after Nick explained to us her why, we were able to understand, okay, this is her target market. She wants to go after people that are really facing adversity and who are looking for a safe space to go and express their feelings. So from there, we were really able to put together a visual system. This is a mood board. Any of you out there can create a mood board. You can do it in PowerPoint. You can do it in Pinterest. You can do it in Canva, anything that you would like. And this is, I would say, the very low budget way of being able to communicate the kind of colors you want your brand to evoke, the different types of symbols, imagery, um, and different like textures and patterns. And it's a way that you can put it all together in a collage format, and it helps translate to the outside world what it is that your brand is trying to achieve. So from this mood board, we were able to do this new rebrand for Wujavi. And as you can see, it's really meant to target, um, and be really housed within an app space which is limited. And we took it, and now there will be this whole new refresh on the app itself and on the website to really go after that target market. And it's really important to do this because this app can be very life-changing for people. So I encourage you to go out there and search for Wujavi. This refresh is happening currently and should be transitioning over to the app, I would say, any day now. And at MediaBridge, my team, we take it obviously one step further. We want to make sure that we actually give a brand guide, which is what you're seeing in front of you. This is what we did for our client, US Compliance. So a brand guide is really meant to house all of the information about your target market, to direct everyday choices for the marketing team, for the internal team, to just ensure consistency across the board. Your brand guide is going to be that thread that pulls and weaves in every single branding element to make sure that all the touch points are aligned. All right, guys, now what I just covered talks about how you can prep the brand for success. I am now handing it over to lovely Giselle. She is our Director of Marketing, and she is going to talk about how you can prep you, the person, for success. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria. I know we have been in Zoom land for months, but I still forget to unmute myself. So there we go. Promise I've done this before. As Maria stated before, your brand is not for you. However, you are your brand. You are your niche. It does not matter if you have a team, or especially if you are a solopreneur. You are your brand. No one can do what you do like you can. There might be other people who offer the same product or who offer the same service, but your customers are going to come to you because of the way that you do something unlike anybody else. And something that I say is I will never tell my clients to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And so with that, you can create a personal brand that can be just as strong, if not even stronger than what your business brand is. I like to say that it's time to start treating your personal brand, your business brand like your personal brand, and your personal brand like your business plan, which has never been more true as so many of us, let's be real, work is an extension of who we are. And if you are hesitant to start sharing more of yourself, take a look at some of these facts and figures. What we are seeing right now is that 82% of people are more likely to trust a company whose senior executives actively use social media, which is so huge. And then on top of that, another big number here is that 77% of consumers are more likely to buy when the CEO of a business uses social media. And so with that, I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can start showing up as your brand. And I have intentionally turned off the slides. And if you are just tuning in, I want to challenge you to turn your video on. Keep your audio off though, because the number one thing that I want you to start doing to show up as your brand online, and especially off, is to show your face. I know that for a lot of you, this is daunting. You're not comfortable in front of the camera, or you feel like what you have to say doesn't matter at all. However, a little bit about me, my career accidentally started on YouTube. This is more than 10 years ago. This is before YouTube was a verb. This is before everyone and their mom had a blog. This is before the word influencer was a job title. I had moved out to LA. I wanted to have a television career, and over again, I was told that someone who looked like me, who had curves, who had big hair, who had olive skin, who wasn't spicy, who wasn't flamboyant, who didn't have an accent, well, America wasn't ready for me. People would not understand a female who was as articulate as I am. And I could have used that to discourage me. I could have used that to conform to what was considered normal at that point in time. But instead, I used YouTube as a way to get more comfortable in front of the camera and to get more comfortable showing up as I am. And what ended up happening was nothing short of miraculous, in that what I found was the formula that is still true today, which is that people have been craving human connection long before social distancing was a thing. And people identified with either my skin color or my family, but also simply the fact that I was chasing a dream. And so I know that so many of you are looking at this presentation and thinking, I don't know if I can afford creative. I don't have a million followers. I don't know. I don't like the way that I look, and things aren't perfect, and I'm not ready, and I don't have branding. But you can show up exactly as you are right now for $0, create an incredible community from where you are at zero, and absolutely launch a business from exactly where you're at. And so, number two, I want you to start thinking of the stories that make you who you are. Maria talked so beautifully about core values and about knowing your why. I think about one of my coaching clients, her name's Tanya. And for her, she is the SVP of her company. She is the top salesperson, not just in her organization, but in her industry. And I remember she came to me because she felt like there was something that was holding her back. A lot of people would look at her and think that she was running and like she had it all together. And yet there was just something that she couldn't figure out. And for some reason, she was not performing to the best of her abilities and felt so ashamed to share any of herself online. She felt like she was showing up and it was completely fake. And so I asked her that question that I started this presentation with, which is, what are you the absolute best at? Why are you the best at what you do? No filter, no bullshit, excuse my French, but let's just get real here. Why are you the best at what you do, the way that you do it? And so she thought for a second, and immediately she burst into tears. We were doing a Zoom session. She was in her office at the time, and she began telling me the story of how when she was younger, her mom was an immigrant who didn't speak English, and she was a single mom, and to make ends meet, she would clean houses and offices. And the reason why Tanya was standing in the building that she was in that moment, the reason why she owned the building that she was in that moment, was because the first time she set foot in that building, it was a building that her mother was cleaning. And now her drive was her mom wanting to make sure that she never had to clean again, wanting to make sure that her kids never had to wonder where dinner was going to come from, and wanting to make sure that she always had a roof over her head and her business. Now, you tell me, do you have so much more respect and appreciation and awe for Tanya, knowing the humble beginnings that she came from? Your stories don't have to be as grand and spectacular as that. Your stories can be even just the little nuances that you have. I, for example, am an obnoxious optimist, and any of my coworkers could tell you that. But the little things that make you unique, start writing them down. We too often get caught up in the world of comparison, thinking that we need to be the best or the prettiest or the smartest or the skinniest, when in actuality, it is our stories that make us unique. And so often we think that there are certain elements of our stories that we are ashamed of that weigh us down, when really those are the parts of our story that can make us unique. They can serve as a staircase. They can serve as a, oh my gosh, can you believe where I was at months ago? And look where we are now. Being able to share that about you and your business will help your audience and your customers feel like they are a part of something. Number three, I want you to learn how to sell community over product. So often in business and marketing, we hear, you're not selling a product, you're selling a solution. I want to take that a step further with you. You're not selling a product, you're not selling a solution, you're selling a community, you're selling a potential. What I started out with, and one of the reasons why for some crazy thing, my career started out on YouTube and then catapulted my TV and radio career, and then allowed for me to work with brands all over the world. And now I get to be the director of marketing at my dream job, MediaBridge. is because people wanted that connection. They wanted to feel like they were a part of something, even if they had nothing in common with me. People are so lonely. Sometimes even right now in isolation, you might be in a house that is full, but you feel like you are so alone. And so while we might think that social media is this fake filtered thing, in actuality, it can actually be a place that can bring you even closer to other people and closer to yourself. And so number 4, what I want you to do is start following people that look and live and work nothing like you do. And honestly, that's true of real life too. So this shouldn't just be the top 5 people who you follow online. This should be the top 5 people who you surround yourself with or communicate with in real life. I love the quote by Jim Rohn that says, you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. Not the people who you love the most, not the people who you wish you could spend the most time with, but who do you really spend the most time with, online and off? And are you proud of those 5 people? I've definitely been in seasons in my life when all 5 of those people look exactly the same. And if you are continuously surrounding yourself with that exact same, you're not going to grow at all, nor are you going to find those things that make you unique. And then number 5, find a mentor. Find someone who, not a mentor in the sense of this is who you have coffee with, or this is who you check in with, or this is who's going to help find your trajectory of your career, but find someone who has the life that you want, has the brand that you want, has the culture in the workplace that you want. One of my favorite things about our CEO, Tracy Call, is our tagline at MediaBridge is media the way it should be, but she has absolutely paved this company that is really just the way it should be, meaning that just because something is what it is doesn't mean that's how it should be. And so I want you to find a mentor, and maybe they have no idea that you exist. Maybe it's a podcast host. Maybe it is someone who is on social media. Maybe it's someone who's in this room. Maybe it's someone who is at an office. And start figuring out what are some of the habits or the feelings that they give you that make you feel more complete, like you're part of that community, like you want to be a part of that thing, that brand. And so beyond the design elements that Maria so beautifully shared, it is a feeling. It is that connection that we so desperately crave as people. For me personally, one of the mentors from afar who I adopted this year was Jamie Kern-Lima. And by the grace of goodness, I got to the point to where I actually got to meet her and tell her how impressed by her I was. And one of the pieces of advice that she gave me was, when you get an opportunity, always see if there's a way that you can bring a plus one into the conversation, into the boardroom, into the office. And so something that really resonated with Maria and I for today, as we had this awesome opportunity to present to all of you, was not only to bring each other, but to bring someone really awesome from our community who has nothing to do with our motive, but everything to do with what we stand for as a business. And so we wanted to spend the last couple of minutes of our presentation completely giving the mic over to this incredible woman who you're about to meet.
Thank you, Giselle. Yes, we are so excited because Nancy, who you see on the screen right now, she is this truly inspiring, super authentic person. And she's really put her life on the line to stand up for a change and a mission that she believes so much in. I personally have never been denied business. I personally have never been kicked out of an establishment. I have never received death threats to myself or my family, and all for a business that I associate with. Unfortunately, Nancy has received all of those and more, and she's nervous to be here today for those reasons, but she believes that spreading the word is vital in order to help so many Black businesses in our community and around the world succeed. So right now, we would like to kick it over to Nancy, who really is the leading charge of helping Black business owners here in Minneapolis succeed and thrive. So we are going to hand it on over now to Nancy.
What an intro, Maria. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nancy Korsah, and I am the CEO of Black Business Enterprises. I was born and raised in Italy. I speak 5 languages, and yes, English has been the hardest. I started Black Business Minnesota, which is a Facebook group, a little over 6 years ago out of need. I wanted to be able to share my business with like minded individuals, and I knew that we have businesses and services. People out there have businesses and services that were specific to the African American community, but they didn't have a platform to share this. So once I opened the group, it exploded. And we now have 40,000 plus members. And we have groups in every single state and in 6 different countries. So because of this group, members and businesses are able to conduct businesses and feed their families. So it's been huge. So with that, Black Business Enterprises was born as a support for minority businesses. So my why is that I wanted to see my community not be dependent on assistance, but to be able to build wealth and feed their families by starting successful businesses and passing them down to their children and to the next generation. So that was very exciting. Um, there's a huge need right now, especially in Minneapolis, for Black businesses. This year, they're saying 41% of Black businesses shut their doors and they closed due to COVID. With the lack of funding and resources, it has been for all small businesses around the world. So our goal is to really give them the tools and resources to thrive so they can keep feeding their families and change their lives for the better and help positively impact the entire community. So we are looking for corporate sponsors, donation, educational help from allies so that we can continue to change people's lives and continue this program and make it bigger. We want to impact everyone we touch. We want to be able to reach as far as we can. Some amazing companies, which I have to shout out, of course. Media Bridge, thank you so much. Rocket 55, Ugarte, Go Radio, they came together to help BBE and its members this year by donating time, resources, and educating members. And their efforts have been a game changer for our business owners. So thank you to all the allies. You have been absolutely unbelievable. We want to continue that. I believe that their actions have been infectious, and I really do hope that it continues forward. So our group right now is known as one of the most engaged groups on Facebook, and we've made a huge difference here in Minneapolis and other states. But we want to continue helping those businesses across the U.S., and we cannot do this without you. We cannot wait to see what we can achieve with your help. So thank you so much for listening, and thanks for having me. This has been an amazing journey.
You are wonderful, Nancy, and we are so happy to be just connected with you and this amazing mission that you're doing for our community. So thank you for obviously leading the charge. It's been extremely inspiring for both Giselle and myself and everyone at Media Bridge and all the agencies that are willing just to help support something that just means a lot to us. So thank you so much for sharing the stage with us. So in conclusion, everyone, once again, we want to thank you all for attending today and starting your morning off with us. When it comes to your personal and professional branding, if it's unclear and if it's inconsistent, it's going to make decision-making extremely challenging. So when you have a solidified brand, it's going to be that thread that pulls everything together. So you need to get clear on your why. You need to work on defining those core values. Embrace what it is that makes you so unique and special. And of course, go support our local Black business owners who need your help now more than ever. We would love to hear from you. So here are our personal emails. Please feel free to reach out to Nancy, Giselle, or myself. If you check out the chat right now, we have put in these hyperlinks so you can go right to our feedback form. We would love to connect with you. Due to limited timing, we probably don't have time for a Q&A right now, but I'm sure you've got questions. As Giselle mentioned, this is all going to be recorded. So if you would like a recording of this, just reach out to us, send us an email. But yes, we would love to hear about you guys, and we would love to keep this conversation moving outside of this short window that we have with you all. So we hope this was a great way of kicking off Twin Cities Startup Week. And we've got the whole month to keep enjoying these wonderful sessions. So thank you so much for taking time and being with us today. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Giselle.
And shout out to Meredith Newman. If you're not signed up for her session, go check it out.
Yes.
Okay, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.